What's going on, everybody? My name is Steven. I am the founder of the Elrond Initiative. I'm really excited and super proud to announce the first partnership that will be forged, and I'm joined here with Lukas and Willem, both co-founders of the On-Chain Smokers. On-Chain Smokers is an NFT membership program being built on the Elrond network. So welcome, you guys, and how are you doing today?
Hey, Steven. Thanks for having us. We're doing great. I think I'm doing great. I haven't seen Willem today, actually.
Yeah,
Willem, how are you?
Steven, thanks for having us. I'm fine too. Great. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah, well, thank you both so much for your time. This interview is really just to showcase what Lukas, Willem, and a whole host of team members, in addition to one other co-founder, William, they've put together something really spectacular with On-Chain Smokers that I believe I understand is revolutionizing the Elrond NFT space, but the NFT space at large, doing things like in-person mints at coffee shops and a recent in-person mint at a social club. We're going to dive into all of the experience and kind of insight from those experiences. But yeah, just to begin, I just want to open it wide open. Willem, how about you start us off and really just kind of explain to us your kind of mission as a team member, as a co-founder of the On-Chain Smokers NFT?
Well, our mission, it came up along the way. Of course, we built our mission, and our mission is to implement the blockchain technology towards people who are totally not familiar with this technology and not even are looking for it at that moment, but can enjoy all the benefits of it. And that was really exciting to see that with this program, you can link people who never had any idea what blockchain is or was, and are super excited about it at the moment. So that was one of the things which was like, very exciting. And because, as you might know, like the community we come from, many people are not so much into crypto or into technologies as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And this will brighten up their knowledge, and that's really exciting.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Lukas, if you want to kind of add to that and maybe also kind of include why you think On-Chain Smokers needs to exist.
Well, I think in terms of the vision, it really kind of like what Willem hinted at, it really developed over time a little bit. And like, we started as kind of just a small experiment at a shop, and realized we could really take this to the next level. And then we also decided to take it like 5 more levels up from there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really just kind of an experiment. How do people interact with blockchain, or why do they not interact with blockchain, and what solutions does this technology solve, and how much easier and more practical for everyday use is this technology than other technologies, or like the Web 2 world. So that's really, I think, what the impetus was. And then the mission kind of became, and the vision was really to try to connect like real businesses with the blockchain technology, because we think that both industries, or like both people can really benefit from that. So I think that's how it started really small, and then became something once we realized that this would mutually unlock so many mutual benefits for so many people. And so the reason an OCS should exist, or does exist really, is to kind of forge a new path when it comes to how business is done. Because I think right now there's producers and there's consumers, and they are often not really interacting in a meaningful way. What we're trying to do is use the technology and use Web3 to really connect businesses with their community and customers. And so we don't want them to see them as just consumers or buyers of a product, but really like co-creators of things. Really believe that this is a way forward for businesses to build a meaningful community and a meaningful relationship with their customers.
That's awesome. Yeah, obviously, it being in the Elrond ecosystem myself, I was really excited to hear Lucas. You mentioned to me very casually that you were building something, and it was really spectacular to see that kind of unveiled. And obviously, it's grown into something that's bigger than I think anybody may have anticipated. And as you said, kind of it keeps leveling up. And with Web3, the sky is kind of the limit there. But yeah, I love the vision on your website for on-chain smokers, which says that you want to change the way companies interact with clients, kind of welcoming them in almost as partners, as co-creators, as you just mentioned. So who would you say who is on-chain smokers? You can answer that from a standpoint of this is our team. It'd be good to kind of understand the file that you all are working with. But to me, as I was learning about on-chain smokers, it's a much bigger collection of people that represents this movement in a way. And yeah, so I'm interested to hear from each of you, in your words, who do you really see the on-chain smokers or on-chain smokers as?
That's yeah, Lucas, you go
Oh,
first.
you can go first. It's for me. I think one, I always keep emphasizing this. Like we have a pretty big team that is building this, and On-Chain Smokers is all the members. On-Chain Smokers is all the partner shops. On-Chain Smokers is the people building the project, and it's also bigger than that even. Like
Yeah.
for us, it's really inviting the community to participate, and in this case, we're not even talking about one community. We're really talking about two quite distinct communities. If we say the cannabis community is one thing and the blockchain community is another. We really want them to have a meaningful conversation and interaction with one another. We want to invite one into the space of the other and the other into the space of the first. And often I think there's already synergies between those groups. But I think there often isn't such a meaningful connection yet. And this extends again to more broadly speaking. We see the same problem with companies and customers, that there is a distinction between the two that is hindering innovation in some ways, like where you could really use the community in a way to make more compelling products, to make more inclusive, more wide, more like thoughtful things that people actually want to use. I think you can really change the way that things are produced, and rather than just throwing something and see whatever sticks and wasting a bunch of money, you can try this new kind of third way of involving community at every step to build something that people are attached to, that people will happily invest into, and that people will stick with because they were part of the creation process.
Yeah. Willem, anything to add there?
Well, that's a difficult one. I think Lucas almost said it all.
Yeah.
For us, it's really important that the connection with, let's say, the opportunity for the customers to add, it's a real big thing. And up to now, the customers were most of the time, yeah, they were very much appreciated, of course, but to hear their voice and to do something with their comments was hard, because yeah, where do you post these comments? It's going a bit up in all the work, and it's not really clear. But now we have like a way for customers to add something to the project: comments, ideas, good thoughts, bad thoughts, whatever. It's a way to attract the community really close to all the ideas that are being built, and let's say give a bit of a guidance to the way the project should go.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really exciting.
Yeah, that there's a lot of moving pieces to these, beginning a project, a company, whatever it might be. I find a lot of excitement when it comes to the Web3 space, in that it's giving, just regular creators this means to build. It sounds like a bit of a stereotypical kind of statement within the Web3 space of like, let's build, especially in the Elrond network community. But yeah, I'm just like really excited to see this team come together and start to show us another way that Web3 and blockchain, NFTs, all that good stuff can kind of come together. So with that being said, I would love to just learn a little bit for myself and also for those watching this video. What can you tell us about what the process was to kind of get going with on-chain smokers, in terms of the process of building on-chain smokers from the initial idea of what it is in terms of on-chain smokers? What industry do we want to address? How do we want to address this industry? Because it's my understanding the first partnership was a coffee shop, though the on-chain smokers aims at the cannabis community. So I'll kind of, it's a general question there, but focusing in on just the foundations and building a team, what that looks like. And really the aim here is to kind of give confidence to people watching this video that it can be done, while giving some insight into maybe some tips and tricks to, just how to really springboard this and push success of this kind of grassroots idea of building something.
I'll let Willem take that, especially since the kind of initial idea really started at his coffee shop, which is a purveyor of cannabis goods.
Understood.
Yeah, I think the first initial thought was how to solve a payment solution for cryptocurrency. Because as we all know, the future is going on, and crypto payments are able in some businesses, but mostly it's not done yet. It's not able to. And we as a coffee shop are suffering relationship with traditional banks, which are not ideal. That's because part of our business is still not fully legal, and therefore they keep a certain stance towards coffee shops and other businesses as well. So for us, it was a kind of open door to think of a way how to circumvent the banks in a way, where we could have payments straight from, let's say, a peer-to-peer payment straight from the customer. And then at one point, this I think all started during COVID, because maybe also we had some more time to think and about new things, and it showed, COVID to us showed like how devastating it is if you lose all the contact with your customers. Because in one day, just from one day to the other day, most of the coffee shops and most places had to close. And there was where you lost all the contact and realized like, wow, I don't have any contact. I can't establish any contact because you just know them as regular customers. They come maybe already for 20 years, but sometimes you just know their first name or last name, but that's it. And to reach out to them, it was impossible. And so that was a kind of a nasty thing. And then me and William, our other co-founder who couldn't be here tonight, we spoke a lot, and we brainstormed a lot during COVID. And then we also learned a lot, especially also about NFTs, and somehow NFTs just came up and it got more popular, and we start to understand what the abilities was from NFTs, what you could do with it. And then we realized like, wait a minute, this payment solution with cryptocurrency is not the most urgent thing. The most urgent thing is to have a community which is able to communicate with us and with the community itself. And then without giving up all your privacy, because you have for sure platforms where you can communicate with each other. But first you have to give all your ID and your details, and most people don't want that. And I think also what we learned, this is a way more back, I'm speaking about 2012, like a nasty new law which prohibited us to have tourists entering or foreigners, let's say, and it was really nasty. And there
Your
it was,
shop specifically?
well, it was in the whole of Holland actually, and it started in the south of Holland as a sort of experiment. So like 1/3 of the coffee shops in Holland just got had to obey this law, this new law, and this created a weird system because all your Dutch customers or all the customers who lived in Holland, they had to subscribe to a system from the government, and nobody felt comfortable with it because you had to give literally your name, address, every detail. And for purchasing weed, which is like doped. I don't know the English word for it because it's a strange system, but it's let's say it's illegal but accepted. So it's really weird. We as a coffee shop have a license for it, but
I think maybe an equivalent word could be decriminalization within the United States, though I'm not too familiar.
yeah, but the rule is like this: they can be picky, you know, when they feel like it, they can just change every rule
Gotcha.
and law. So it's quite nasty. But then that moment in 2012 where the people stayed away because of this registration, they all stayed away. Nobody wanted to be in a system registered where you commit, not fully legal things, and it was fully understandable. So with that in mind, we had something like, wow, this blockchain technology is able to go around that, let's say, where people don't have to give all their details and be in a community connected with each other. So that was the best moment when we realized. And then of course Lukas made this all happen by connecting us with all the right people and with his knowledge. And yeah, we build on that idea, like, okay, this is also just a start because it has so many more utilities. And yeah, that's where we are at the point now, I think, today.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome history.
Yeah, I totally think that from my like understanding of how you guys went into it too was that it was the first time that you realized during this pandemic where everybody was stuck inside, people actually went online and connected there and found meaningful connections through NFT communities. So from there, I think spawned the idea to have basically a local NFT group, more or less, at Toermalijn, at the coffee shop, where you wouldn't have to give up any data or anything to be in that community. You know, data that can be used against you by the powers that be. And then from there, it was like, okay, well, if this makes sense for Toermalijn, why don't we make that for the coffee shop? Why don't we make that a larger thing? Why don't we then connect the coffee shop Toermalijn to a coffee shop in Amsterdam, to a club in Barcelona, to a dispensary in California? Because these communities exist, but they're quite insulated sometimes. And connecting them across borders and continents and all of that. I think that was like a really big kind of aha moment for us, for me too, like being in, like, you know, learning about NFTs and community. It was like, oh, I did not know what this technology could actually provide. And I think that's how we went from this like kind of small like local idea to trying to do something really big and global, and then also like not just doing it for us and for the industry we're working in, but just showing the way in terms of like we can do this, and we're doing it in kind of difficult circumstances, as you could just tell. Like, you know, there's not everything is figured out, just like with crypto, right? But if we can do this, then you can do this too with your gym, with your, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I'm super curious how Willem and Lukas, how did you two get connected?
Through William, our third co-founder.
Yeah,
So,
what was that story?
I think in 2020, William and I were a kind of fanatic about, first of all, Elrond, of course. We should mention that because that brings us all together here.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Yeah, we also during the pandemic, we had loads of time to self-study, let's say, and then we came up into the NFTs, And William, the other co-founder, is more interested into NFTs and way better educated. And that's where he found Lukas. And yeah, we really
The rest is
quickly
history,
found
as
out
they say.
his history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's funny.
super cool.
The kind of story behind it is cool too, I think, because it's such a leap of faith for all of us, I think, and in this space. And you mentioned like this kind of openness of people being able to create something new in this space specifically, because the rules aren't so written, and the obstacles and boundaries that prevent people with great ideas from doing something great don't quite exist in the same way that they do in the traditional business space. So yeah, I mean, for me, it was really like this guy contacting me on Discord, right? And
yeah, it was Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, I have an idea. Like, let's hop on a call. We hopped on a call, and this was and like, I don't know, maybe a month later or something, I just booked a plane ticket and a hotel in Barcelona, and off I went. I had no idea if anybody would actually meet me. I had
Catfish situation or something.
I wouldn't have done it.
It must have felt good.
They seemed like great people to me, and the idea was really exciting, and being able to build something, and like then developing the idea into something that I thought had real potential, and implications, beyond the space that we're building in. I had, obviously I bought the train ticket. Obviously I booked the hotel, because there was no alternative for me.
Yeah. So I understand, is William, the third co-founder, is he kind of based in Barcelona?
Yeah.
Gotcha. And yeah, that also kind of more formally addresses the question of who is On-Chain Smokers. So 3 co-founders, and maybe a little bit closer to 10 people after it's all said and done. But on the website, it looks like y'all have about 9 kind of core team members, from co-founders, developers, community moderators. Recently, shout out to On-Chain Smokers for one of the co-founders of Helios Staking joined the On-Chain Smokers team as a blockchain advisor. So and I mean, whenever you first did that in-person meet, Lucian Minku mentioned the On-Chain Smokers, shouted you all out for what you were doing. So it's really been exciting to kind of just witness all of this happen. And I think it really just goes to show, as each of you just kind of told us, there were some leaps of faith that were required. Obviously, some people needed to be connected, and some brains needed to kind of have that meeting of minds. But it's surprising, it's shocking, and really exciting, of course, to see just how a small idea can go from maybe 2 or 3 people, a local idea, to something that all of a sudden, boom, like, wow, this could be a global network, and like, not necessarily the Elrond network or cryptocurrency networks, but just On-Chain Smokers specifically, what you're trying to do with this membership program, and tying the clients or the customers of these shops as partners, and really addressing this small business. Yeah, is there anything you could add about what it looked like to build this team beyond the 3 initial co-founders, and what do you think were the most integral parts to really solidifying the trajectory of On-Chain Smokers?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I think I mean, it was really the 3 of us, like, coming up with crazy ideas for like a month and a half, 2 months or something. And then we were like, okay, well, now we need to do all of this too, huh? And and so I think the first step that we actually, I mean, we got legal advice. We got advice from Kevin even before he officially signed up, like blockchain advice, stuff like that. Making sure the company is set up in like the most kind of transparent way, because we are dealing with 2 kind of like technologies and a good, respectively, that are looked at skeptically, let's say, from especially from official sides. So I think those were the first calls, like making sure that we can even do this. And we're neither full on in the cannabis world, nor are we in the blockchain world. Like we're kind of in between, connecting a business with a technology as a membership program, right? So we're actually like legally and completely clear as well, luckily. But there's still hesitations about both of these topics, I would think. So, and after that, I think the next step was like, okay, well, we need something to like make this membership program a membership. So we need a membership pass. And so the first thing we did was find the designer for the NFT that serves as the membership pass. And then
is that Damien?
That is
Who is it?
Jan Paul.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then so he found
I see that. My mistake. Sorry.
No worries. He had good friends who do design and development in the web space. And then we did that, and I had quite a few contacts from my like time in the Elrond space. So I already knew who to ask for development stuff. And also, like, I have to also say the people, there's people not mentioned on the website, or at least not yet, that are our partners there, like Combase, the Elrond Birds, who have a great development team, artwork that's been provided by Trev from Elrond Energy. Like we're also like been really fortunate to have people help us out and wanting to help out along the way. So the network is really, it takes a village, and in this case, like it's quite a large village that's helped us to get to the point where.
Awesome. Willem, anything to add there?
No, really.
Cool. Yeah, that's exciting to hear how that all came together, just from the idea to actually getting that legal advice. Is really good to hear that everything is kind of correct, and that gives peace of mind to those people who are coming to those in-person stores and joining this movement. So it's great to hear that all those kind of regulatory boxes, for lack of a better term, are being checked. So that's kind of, I would say, is kind of where On-Chain Smokers began. So I'm excited to kind of get more into where On-Chain Smokers is right now. So I want to hear, tell us, and really pretend as if people don't know. Tell people what you did with these in-person mints for these NFTs. Explain to us kind of what that looked like, and and then we'll kind of dive in to hear some of those more intimate kind of looks into what you experienced, a lot of questions that you got there. So yeah, what can you tell us about these in-person mints that you've had?
Well, it was a super exciting event, honestly. Also, the preparation for it was kind of exciting, because it was our first in-store mint, so we didn't know really what to expect in numbers of people and the things we had to organize. But I think we had it all really well together. So the day the mint was the 25th of August. We had kind of few people lining up to register, so they were aware of what was happening. Of course, we did publish some in the shop along, let's say, a few weeks in advance. So people were a little bit aware of what was happening, and yeah, some people were not. So it was like a mixture of people. And once they went into the shop and they were able to, or eligible to receive an envelope, and that was when they bought a certain amount of weed, they could choose that instead of the regular discount they get, to get an envelope with a subscription in it. So yeah, lots of people chose for that, and they went up to a dedicated area in the shop, which we set up for subscribing the customers and explaining all the things. We luckily have a kind of a nice garden in the shop, behind the shop, I must say, where we have some space for people to sit down and to realize what was needed to do also. And most of the people managed it themselves to download the Maya app and go through the process and then come up to us to claim an NFT, let's say. And
Yeah.
some didn't, and they needed all the help you could think of, and yeah, they came up with 7, 8 year old telephones, and these kind of problems we also ran into. It was super exciting because we saw both sides, from the customer problems, the small hiccup they suffered, let's say, and the things from our side which we run into. For instance, the amount of NFTs we say minted made on the back end some problem, and some, yeah, I don't know exactly what, but something had to be corrected by the Elrond team, which they did like super fast, and yeah, which gave us the opportunity to go on. So there were some small hiccups, but was nothing that the customer was aware of, let's say, in the end.
Yeah.
So it was super exciting to see also various people come in, old, young, male, female, all different people, super excited, totally unaware of blockchain. So yeah, that's really
Wow.
hopeful. That was really hopeful, and going away super happy as well once they had the NFT. First of all, they really liked the design of it. I think it's beautiful, and yeah, it represents something which a weed smoker really likes. It's a joint tube. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think they were all surprised, and how easily it went, and how easy it also is to use it in the shop when you come in. So yeah, it was like a really exciting day.
Wow. So people were coming in the doors without any understanding that something like blockchain existed, and they left with one of these NFT membership passes onboarded
Yeah,
onto the MyR app and everything.
yeah.
That's
Actually,
incredible.
I think even going out with an NFT and not realizing they were, let's say, part of the blockchain,
Yeah,
contributing to the
they
blockchain technology. They never, and they don't need to, because that's the good thing from this program. You don't need to be like a crypto geek or anything. You don't need, you don't have to have any information or knowledge, and that's also our challenge to teach people, because in the end you will need knowledge, of course, but
yeah.
you can already start without having, let's say, having a basic knowledge. It's super easy to start with the program, and to, yeah, to enjoy all the benefits.
Yeah.
And I think so. What's interesting about that, like, how do we inspire people to want to learn something that they have no interest in, or think they have no interest in? And I think putting something into someone's wallet is a really effective way of doing that. That's how it started for me. Like when I first bought Bitcoin, I didn't really know why I did that. And then I had it in my wallet, and I was like, okay, what is this thing? And I think like there's a similar kind of learning process, and it's really important to lower the threshold to, almost zero, where we can, almost set up the wallet with them, without looking at the security phrase. But like, if people have no idea how to handle technology, and there were a few people who were really quite lost, right? But to demonstrate and to prove that we can, even for those people, we can onboard them, we can give them something, they will learn how to use that very quickly, and probably will want to learn a little bit more about what's in their wallet, right? And I think right now we haven't dropped our first like surprises and airdrops and all of this stuff to people's wallets, so they still have only like received this membership, this mysterious membership pass,
Yeah.
once, and it gives them mysterious like benefits, and like both at the shop, and they can also come online and do that. I think once we expand on what we're doing with it, that we can do thanks to the technology, like airdropping them additional discounts, or like different fun things, artwork from local community artists. Like we have a music track that will be available, that's been made for us. And so there's all these things that I think people will come to understand as they go, like how much they can actually do with this thing. And I think that's how we can really give them a gentle push into becoming interested in what the future is going to look like, because I think it's way too abstract and way too complicated and way too mystified in public debate and conversation when people talk about it.
Yeah, totally. There are so many different potential areas that you could just get kind of lost in a rabbit hole trying to get into kind of the technology itself. And I've personally learned, and I'm kind of educating myself better how I can have these conversations with people without accidentally using a word that demands to be further understood, keeping it all surface level, but you still hit the key points, emphasizing the security of this is your wallet and this is the security phrase. Make sure so in the Meyer app, we haven't really touched on the reason that On-Chain Smokers has selected Elrond Network as their blockchain of choice. So feel free to kind of discuss on that. But really, the next question I'm curious, you've hinted at a little bit, but yeah, what were some of those questions? I know, Willem, you mentioned there was some back-end developer-related things that were dealt with on the spot. But in terms of introduction, in terms of user interaction with the Meyer app and everything, what were there any kind of frequently asked questions or kind of main points that, all right, this became clear that for something like this or for onboarding in general, this is something that really like people are most interested or are needing the most understanding about?
Yeah, I think what Elrond provides is yeah, it's like this back end thing. 2 years ago, I think, or one and a half year ago, they started to develop this back end solution with UTrust, and I kept an eye on that and saw that they purchased UTrust, or at least had a big influence in it, to make possible for cryptocurrency payments, this whole backend system. So I followed it, I subscribed to UTrust, I set it up, I prepared myself for it, let's say, to be able to integrate it into the shop. And then On-Chain Smokers came in between, let's say. But yeah, this was the really strong point from us choosing for Elrond, because they have this solution so close already that there is no reason for looking for another solution. And I think we all three are kind of Elrond moon boys already, so it was also easy the choice. But I think it's legit because they offer the one of the best blockchain solutions, and the technology is amazing. It's super stable. It's fast. It's amazing.
I've found that it's fun to use. Like my interaction with the NFT space has been a dangerous one because there aren't all of these hoops to jump through. It's just like Meyer app, you sign in, you scan to confirm, you're done, and then you get the notification that you received that NFT, and it's just like that was way too easy. It becomes a fun and engaging process.
Yeah, it's true. And I think we all use the Meyer app since the day it's been launched. We've seen the hiccups it had and how they solved everything and how flawlessly it works at the moment, let's say. So that's super encouraging also, because we don't want to provide a system to customers which is like unstable or super expensive to use. And that was also a thing, Elrond is very cheap, the blockchain to use for people. And yeah, so that's all together. It's a good reason for customers and businesses to build on Elrond, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Meyer app really, I think, eliminates a lot of these typical, onboarding issues and thresholds that prevents people from entering the space, because it's very scary, like setting up a MetaMask or any kind of wallet. It's either very scary or it takes a long time. Like you try to make a finance account now, like you'll have to KYC. There's a lot of stuff that you need to do. Like we could never do that on the fly and then like give someone a membership pass, right? So here, I mean, in our experience, it takes like a younger kind of user 5 minutes, even with writing down to 24 words, and like inexperienced and maybe a little bit older like non-digital natives takes them 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, to finish that process and be ready and be on the blockchain, right? So that's, I think, a really amazing thing. To get back to the question, like what concerns were, I think one thing that comes up very frequently, which is, I think, also in some part because of the environment, is and the story that Willem highlighted about this so-called wheat pass that made you give up all your data to the government without you knowing what happens with it. So data security and privacy, I think, was kind of the #1 issue that people were curious about, because they didn't want to give their data to anyone. And it's really obviously nice for us to be able to explain, like, well, we don't have any of your data. Like, not like we only have a wallet address. All you need for the Meyer app is a phone number. If you're not comfortable using your own phone number, buy a SIM card. Just use that for this one time for this app, and then they don't have anything on you. So there's really a strong privacy protection. I'm not entirely sure actually how Meyer deals with the phone numbers, but I'm assuming they also don't really have that stored anywhere and connected to a person. It's just a phone number connected to a wallet, but I'm not sure. Don't want to say I don't know enough about it to say that with certainty, but it's something actually I should look into. I'll find out exactly.
Yeah, something that we can all learn together for sure.
But yeah, I think that, so privacy, I think, was the #1 issue. And then I think what people are most concerned about, because the word, like, once they downloaded a crypto wallet, it triggers certain associations, and they're all negative. So I think the #1 concern that people had is whether they're like now buying into some speculative asset that can lose, that they can lose everything in a second and not even know what's going on. It scares people, rightly so, because that is not for everyone. It's really for almost no one. So I think that was the second concern, and it's really important, I think, too, that On-Chain Smokers was conceived with the intention of taking that speculative thing out of the equation completely. Because even if Elrond is worth 0, hopefully there's some validators left to keep the blockchain going. But if the value is like totally gone, essentially, you still have the NFT, which is stored on this blockchain, which you can still use to receive the same benefits that you were receiving before, no matter the price action of the day. And I think that is really something that teaches people that it's not all about that. It's not all about winning and losing money as fast as you can. It's really about having a new way of doing things, and a new way to store data, and a new way to apply this data to improve processes.
Yeah. So I was curious, I don't know if I knew, was there any form of payment to mint this or to mint these NFTs in person? Are they free? What's the process look like on that side?
It was for the initial phase, which was the first week or so. Basically, Willem decided that his coffee shop was going to give this as a gift to the community. So cool. The coffee shop bought it from On-Chain Smokers, and then gave it as a gift to the loyal customers of 30 years.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, those topics addressing, those trigger phrases, it's like, oh, crypto. It's like the moment people hear it, they want to run for the hills, want nothing to do with it. So hopefully that, I think that's kind of while we're all here is that we're kind of these ambassadors for this new era, to where it's better defined what blockchain is, what cryptocurrency is. And yeah, it's something that it does take a depth of understanding, so that we can, again, simply understand and simply convey to people that this is what we're doing. And as you said, Lucas, it's like, well, even if the blockchain, even if the price of Elrond goes to zero, you still have this art that serves this purpose and utility. And I think that's a huge emphasis here, is, and something that I just, in general, I try to preach in a way, is, avoid getting caught up with this price mentality, which has a lot to do with, investment risk tolerance and everything like that, which isn't the point of this discussion today. But definitely some major key points there. And I think that's just one more benefit to doing these in-person minting kind of events, is it's not all just a one-sided computer screen and people, just trying to figure it out by themselves. It's like there are people right there who are learning with them. There are people right there who understand the process and so forth.
We
So
even
again,
saw, sorry to interrupt, we even saw customers like teaching each other. It was really good to see.
yeah, that's what community is all about, right?
Yeah, that was super. That showed how strong the community already is, of course, and how much of our ideas already happened. So it was super nice to see.
Yeah, so exciting. So yeah, after kind of touching on that question, what do you think that kind of on-chain smokers, as you are right now in the process, what is kind of your focus as we wrap up quarter 3, referring to the roadmap? It seems like some things that were accomplished recently, or checks off that quarter 3 roadmap. But mentioned on the website are things like the light paper, which I'm eager to read more about. But yeah, just for people who are learning more about on-chain smokers, what would you say are the top priorities kind of right now, and then kind of as you finalize those quarter 3 check marks and to-dos?
I think right now we're really in this phase where we're talking to a lot of potential partners, and really trying to put to expand this map kind of quickly, so we can show that there is basically a blockchain enabled spot coming to a city near you. I think it's psychologically a very nice thing. And then I think a big priority for us at the moment, and as you talked about, you'll actually play an active role in this, is starting up our educational program as well. So we have all these people now. We crossed the 1,000 member mark.
Congratulations on that, by the way. Y'all haven't really made mention of any sort of numbers, but please feel free to brag, because what you've done is not a small accomplishment, and it deserves congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, super proud and super excited, and really excited to keep that going. And this is also part of the expanding partner shops. Also means expanding to new communities, onboarding more members to the program, thereby enhancing the value of the membership program for both customers and the shops that want to participate. So that's really we're kind of laser focused on that. But we there's so much going on at the same time. We should be. You mentioned the team of 10. We should probably be 50, really, and to keep all of that running. But I think, yeah, back to the next steps. I think, yeah, teaching people a little bit more about what we're offering, to get more people into the program. Communicate with the cannabis community that there is this new thing going on, and I think it's really exciting, both for the customers and for the businesses to become part of it, and kind of forge this new path with us. And then we want to take all the members that we have now, which are, funny enough, you have all these blockchain projects that have 50,000 followers and 600 holders. We have I don't know, Twitter, not even 1,000 followers, and we have over 1,000 holders now. It's really about taking those holders and also trying to teach them a little bit more about what they're into. And I mentioned there's all these things that I think will really encourage them to look into it further. but we also want to invite them in by providing some easy to access education on all topics that they might be interested in, providing real access to both us at the moment while we can still handle it, like the founders, like what are we doing, why are we doing it, having that personal contact, but also inviting experts from the blockchain field, from the cannabis industry, to speak with people about their interests and educating them on new stuff. So that's sort of the immediate thing. And then there's all kinds of different stuff planned. Like if you look at the roadmap on the website, which I did today since you prompted me to look at it, like I don't know, there's maybe half of the points that we're actually doing or going to do are on there. So there's a lot going on. Just things that we can't really
organize and stay on top of, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's also things we can't put a date on yet. So I don't want to put it on the website
For sure.
Q4, and then people are like, "What?" Like, yeah, well, I didn't, we didn't know how much time it would take and work, and like, there's also some lucky circumstance, of course.
Yeah,
I think also the onboarding of the new partners we try to do as slow as possible, not slow, but as good as possible. Like you have to understand that also the partners, some of the partners are the same as the customers, like totally green in this material. So you have to explain them all and show them all, which is a good thing, but it costs, the pace of it therefore is slow. We can't push things. People have to understand and educate themselves or get educated by us, and then understand and participate. So this is a process which can take longer depending on the knowledge of the partner also. But it's super interesting, and I think it's especially for the first few partners we're gonna have, this is super important because they will represent what on-chain smokers is,
Totally.
And that's super important. So this is I think we're fully on at the moment, and we try to do it, like we say, Lukas, all as personal as possible, like visiting them, be there in their shop, helping to set up the in-store mint, being there at the moment from the in-store mint to explain to their customers, and they're training their staff, and it's very time consuming, but in the start I think it's the right way. And
I also want to emphasize that, sorry Stephen, like that we'd rather do things slowly and organically than kind of fast and try to raise a bunch of money or onboard a bunch of stuff, but then in the end have it all like fall down like the house of cards it would be in that case. But we're really trying to lay a foundation. Like I personally made the decision to not go to California because I think the foundation is laid now, and it's laid in Europe, and is laid by choosing strong partners and educate these partners well and educate the community well. And so I think it's really important. And I think, I mean, I'm kind of, it's a weird word to use, but I'm kind of proud that we're doing it this way rather than rushing things, that we're really taking our time, and not come out with a token in Q4 just to raise more seed money and then like throw some cool parties, but not really having laid the groundwork. So I think it's really important to do these things slowly and steadily and have a great foundation to build on.
Yeah, I love that. And thanks for adding that too. And I believe personally that's something that you should take full ownership of, is that heart behind growing organically and kind of under promise and over deliver. So to kind of emphasize some of the utility of this membership, the website talks about cash discounts and interviews and Ask Me Anythings with industry professionals, metaverse, and in real life events, and kind of segueing into kind of the meat of what's going on here between the Elrond Initiative and on-chain smokers. So a part of the utility of this NFT will also give exclusive access to educational blockchain and cannabis content, which I have to assume is the purported OCS's high school that is on the schedule for Q4 of 2022.
That's the one, exactly. We'll have a high school, and I think the tentative name for the blockchain side of it is the all-time high school.
Nice.
And so we'll have educational content on both these things, and there's obviously lots of different things we can dive into there for all different levels, both on the cannabis and for people on the blockchain, and we're interested in the blockchain education. So yeah, we're really excited to roll it out, start putting together classes, find great partners who are already doing their part in both industries, invite experts in to talk with people and maybe teach a live class, have a presentation. All of these things are on the radar or already scheduled.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the Elrond Initiative is kind of collecting a lot of different people and trying to attract and grow a community of reliable individuals with a passion to learn, to educate, and share in their knowledge and raise awareness on blockchain, Web3, but, specifically the Elrond network. So, yeah, it's really cool because, the Elrond Initiative, you can earn a token, and then after you earn so many, you can kind of earn what will be like this badge of honor. And basically, the intent of this system for me is really, it's like for people like perhaps on-chain smokers, looking around like, oh shoot, like we need people to like build this content, we need smart people, and how do we go about finding that? So I see the Elrond Initiative as something to raise awareness on Elrond network, but also to help new people into this space kind of really almost be able to recruit, those big brains, like people who are making those contributions and seriously spending quality time putting together this information. It just displays a level of understanding, and beyond that, it displays a level of passion that they want to take the time and go that extra step. And the entity token from the or rather the initiative token from the initiative itself, it's going to, the value of it will unlock over time. So the people who are contributing right now, my assumption is they're not doing it to do any sort of cash grab. Rather, it's something that they're passionate about. So I'm very happy to kind of create this foundation of the educational column in a way that will give on-chain smokers and the world at large, access to, who are these people that are interested in educating others, and they can reach out to them personally. And so how can you kind of see the Elrond Initiative really fitting in to complement what on-chain smokers is doing with the coming high school and all-time high school educational programs?
Working title, but maybe it's a bit too long. But yeah. I mean, I think first of all, also since you poured some praise on us, let me pour some praise on you. I think what you've done both personally and with the Elrond Initiative in the first, I think you guys launched less than 10 days ago.
Yep.
Already having like great contribution stuff that I learned from, that I read there. And I think another important aspect, one that Willem emphasized, that happened at the coffee shop in the garden, like people educating one another on something that they are experts in. It's the best way to learn. It's the best way to teach, and it's the best way to get deeper knowledge onto something, is having to teach it to someone else. And so I think that really, that community aspect of that initiative really mirrors very closely what we're trying to do, which is bring communities together through learning, through a shared interest, and and then getting the word out and being there to help one another grow and learn. I think that, to me, as the foundation of what the Elrond Initiative is doing, is so closely aligned with what we're trying to do. That I was like, oh, look at this. I can't believe he's coming out with that, because it's exactly kind of what we're looking for when there's contributors and partners that can educate and welcome a new group of people into this space. And it's really important, I think, that welcoming is personal, and it's caring, and it really shows a kind of spirit of like, this isn't all about cash grabs and making money. This is really about like learning together and understanding what kind of space we're in, and welcoming new people into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what On-Chain Smokers puts out through the high school. I'll leave it at that for now. But yeah, so is it going to be a website kind of attached to On-Chain Smokers' main page? It's mentioned for now that it will be exclusive. So it may not be any cement details or decisions. But when it comes to this idea of we want to educate the world on this, how does kind of either you, Lukas and Willem, personally interact with, or On-Chain Smokers as a whole? How do you interact with this idea of gatekeeping education and really trying to focus on inclusivity rather than the inherent exclusivity that NFT culture kind of tends to embolden?
I think there's going to be 2 tiers in terms of the educational program. Like for now, high school will be for everyone. There is, of course, things that we need to, like memberships go along with the perks that a membership provides. And it's also not necessarily, I wouldn't see it as gatekeeping, but more at keeping it manageable in terms of the volume of people who might want to be at these AMAs. Like if you think of, I'm just putting it out there that Benjamin Minshew will do an AMA, right? And there's going to be tens of thousands of people who want to go to that and ask their questions. Like, how do we regulate that? Like making that exclusive, that kind of content or access exclusive to a smaller group, I think is not so much gatekeeping as it is like keeping the interaction manageable, and also providing great value for people who have shown a kind of commitment that others haven't shown. So I think that's that. And I think in the beginning, we'll move to a more exclusive model down the line. For now, we want to, like, in this process of welcoming a lot of people into the space and having people probably hang out that aren't a member yet or cannot be a member yet because they don't have a shop near them at the moment. We'll keep it very open actually in the beginning, and then when there's special events and things like that, we'll also try to make that accessible to as many people as possible. But at some point, of course, you need to provide some extra value for the people who are paying for access effectively. And there's also going to be different tiers. I don't want to get too much into it. We have a lot of ideas that are actually attached to it that I think are quite new. So I don't want to put them out here and have someone else do it first. There's going to be, I think there's always going to be an access that there's probably always going to be some kind of free access to limited amount of material. There's going to be the pay per access model, and then there's going to be the membership, which will just unlock all the access you want for you. So it's kind of a classic mixed freemium model, if you will.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense. Willem, it looks like you had something to add there.
Yeah, I wanted to also add one important thing is also to establish all the knowledge which has been there since the past, let's say. Now, for sure, you have a lot of books being written about somebody's view over the product or over a traditional way. But I think we would like to establish all this information on the blockchain where it's open for everybody, and it's established for in the future, let's say, because some of the information will go lost during the time, because some traditional hash making and read making processes are finished. They are not there anymore, let's say. And those traditions should be established in a way that we can pay tribute to it and learn from it and don't forget them, let's say, because they they are part of our history, and yeah, it's super interesting to be able to work on that as well.
Yeah, this is something that we, another thing that we kind of uncovered in the process is like, well, cannabis, I mean, blockchain is all new, so we're all learning there. Cannabis has been around forever, and all these different techniques have been progressing over time, but there isn't really a kind of a unified, it doesn't have to be unified, but there isn't a history of cannabis and the history of cannabis that is also crowdsourced and has a lot of different aspects, depending on where you were in the world. So yeah, what Willem is there, I can only emphasize that there's like not only like the present knowledge and the current like best practices, there's also everything that led up to it, all the development that's really interesting and will be really interesting for historians to have access to as well, especially as we're progressing towards a probably more liberal approach towards cannabis.
Yeah, definitely some awesome answers there that even add value from my perspective and understanding the importance of making sure that some of these, long time rather, kind of practices and things that kind of deserve this honor are, I guess, just saved for the long term. And it's cool to hear that the on-chain smokers, have a heart for that when it comes to supporting the cannabis industry at large. And I'm really excited to see. I'm not sure. Lucas, you mentioned the move to California, and then you're sticking around to further that foundational, or if that foundation in maybe Europe. But is so. Can you give us any more insight into expansion for on-chain smokers if you still plan to move to California and start, having and coming to a shop near you? Is that coming to the United States? Tell us all about kind of what we could expect to see in terms of expansion from on-chain smokers.
Another thing I can't give away too much on, but certainly something that I think we will be in California before this year is over. Like us physically, I can't promise that we'll have partner shops ready to go. And again, as we were saying, like it really takes a lot of education and a lot of preparation to get these dispensaries, in that case, ready to really interact with customers on something that the customers might not be very familiar with.
Totally.
So yeah, California is our tentative plan, right? If everything works out, if dreams do come true, then we'll go from Barcelona to a quite large city in Holland, and from that quite large city in Holland that people know about, we will go to quite a large city in California that people might be aware of. But that's like while continuously adding new shops in kind of the two base areas, Spain and Holland, which are the only two kind of legal THC purveying countries where this membership program is possible. But then of course we have legalization in kind of in sight in Germany. We'll see it probably in the midterm all across Europe, just as what you're seeing in the United States, going state by state, and at an increasing pace. Canada being having fully legalized cannabis as well. So all these developments are there. Again, we're trying to build slowly. So the jump to California right now didn't quite really make sense yet, before the foundation is solid and before we have our methods down, before we probably have some more, of the other building blocks laid. So yes, but you can expect us to be in California. I don't want to say soon, but sometime
in the future.
Sometime in the future.
One thing to add as well is like we also not only limited to coffee shops and clubs, we also looking towards other fields, and yeah, we spoken with some other businesses who also are really interested in this model, because they also have regular clients and loyalty programs, so it might be really possible that also other kinds of businesses are participating in the end in the project.
That's awesome.
That's really awesome, because also what you have to understand is like the community also want, let's say, people from Holland go to Spain, and they also want to go to a good restaurant and to a good club, and there's more than just a coffee shop and a club. So I think if you can connect quality places, which are in a way sort of certified by on-chain smokers, and then it becomes even more interesting to be a member of.
Totally.
Yeah, see how I said this thing escalated quite quickly? This is kind of what I'm talking about.
It was one of the things you wanted to keep quiet, but
No, yeah, for sure. But yeah, that kind of stuff, and there's also one thing to not forget: cannabis is bigger than just THC. Cannabis is CBD.
Exactly,
Cannabis is even hemp clothing and all kinds of different products. So for us, like the cannabis community is certainly bigger than just the people who go to coffee shops or clubs. And there's also a legal industry all across Europe that is CBD, and of course CBD comes with its own benefits and things to tap into, and so there's also that kind of branch that while we're here and while we're laying the foundation here, we're definitely open to not just open, we're actively also seeking partners in that business in countries where outside of Holland and Spain.
Incredible. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up here just to let y'all get back to your day. But yeah, thank you so much for just sharing with me all of this information and all of the viewers as well. So yeah, it's something that I'm really excited to, as I've mentioned time and time again in this video, continue to see on-chain smokers grow, and looking forward to on-chain smokers and the Elrond Initiative kind of continuing to build off of this synergy. And yeah, in closing, how from each of you and for the community at large, what can we do to get involved? What where can we find you, whether that be online or in person? Yeah, just kind of let us know. Roll out the carpet for us to figure out what we can do to kind of support the movement of on-chain smokers or blockchain at large.
Well, first of all, we're not a smokers exclusive, as Willem just teased. We're even going beyond that probably quite quickly. But just hanging out, just kind of supporting the vision, I think is so encouraging, and it's been really encouraging to hear from everybody online, and like to be in Twitter spaces and like be like, oh, this is an amazing idea. I want to copy this for my business. And like, please, if you do want to do that, like contact us. Maybe we can help you like set it up and figure it out. And I think that's really kind of the larger vision of inviting more people into the space, exposing them to the technologies, to the opportunities, to all the things that we can do together with blockchain and with Web3. So yeah, but for on-chain smokers, onchainsmokers.com, at onchain smokers on Twitter, Instagram / onchain smokers club, I believe.
It'll be in the description for sure. All of these links will.
We'll have we're setting up all the platforms. If they're not set up, we will set them up. The best way to kind of interact on a daily basis with us is the Discord at the moment. And we're there, we're reading basically every message while we still can. And yeah, if we're also really, and this is not just a phrase, like we're really looking for feedback, and whether it be positive or negative, it will help us improve the project. So if anyone has an idea on what to do better, if anybody dislikes the way we're communicating something, or we're doing something, or anything really, like whether the feedback is positive or negative, as long as it's constructive and helps us deliver a better product and a better experience to people, like we really want people and invite people to come to us with that feedback and those thoughts and those ideas. And we're really excited to build this with people, for people, and create something special together.
Love it. Yeah, Willem, maybe you want to speak to the community that you built through that first mint. You know, if they happen to watch this video, I hope they will. But is there any message that you want to share with them, things that they can be doing either for your shop personally, or given that, you know, kind of that power they got through that NFT and accessing the MyArt app? Do you have kind of any more personal messages for your community?
Yes, of course. We are super grateful to so many people and the confidence and trust in us to go along with us in the project. You have to realize you need to have a good relationship with the customer in order to gain their trust. So it's great to see so many people there, and will do in the future because not everybody came by yet. And yeah, it's super nice that we are connected in a different way than we were before. People are able to speak on Discord servers. We can communicate in a different way. Yeah, these are the great advantages and the things that we're really proud of, that our customers seem to be up for it. We never thought they were not, but it was a bit of an unknown terrain. And yeah, the adoption is way bigger than we expected. And people really use it as a common thing. So they adopted it really fast as well. You know, like from the first moment where they find it difficult to subscribe, up to the next days where they can use it while purchasing their goods and get a discount on it, and then using it the similar as any other app. So that's really good to see. And yeah, it shows how smart people are in general, and how challenging these kind of things are to set up together. They have a big say in lots of things.
Yeah.
That's really encouraging and really nice. We're really proud of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I noticed on the roadmap that there are some secret projects going to be revealed. So Willem, what can you tell us about these secret projects that are coming for On-Chain Smokers?
Yeah, if I tell you, it's not secret no more. So I will give you one thing. We're working on a thing called Wikipedia. It's like Wikipedia, but then for weed hash. Everything involving the production, the cultivation, everything, the way of smoking, the conservation. So there's so many aspects about weed and hash which are unknown and vital to know in a way also, that this needs to be established and be there for in the future.
Wow. And that's going to be revealed, or not revealed, rather, it's going to be launched in Q1 of next year, 2023.
Yeah, we're hoping that we're ready for that. It's going to be like Wikipedia, kind of a crowdsourced thing, because obviously the history has many different aspects, and it really depends on where you were. And so just having kind of time capsules and getting that started, hopefully in Q1 next year. It also, like, to do it right, we'll probably have to create a whole new like site that will host all this information in like a sensible way, in a visual way, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. So yeah, that's why the reveal is planned for next quarter. and the kind of the soft launch of it, I would guess, from where we're at the moment, will be in Q1, but there's so much work also on the development and that needs to go into in the design, and that will probably start collecting these stories and have people contribute to it without really like sorting it, because we probably will need to see all the data entries before we know how to visualize them or sort them in a way that makes sense and is easy to digest for anybody who wants to dive into it, rather than like a big forum with just a mess of documents or personal stories or anecdotes and that stuff. So yeah, soft launching, I would say, in Q1, and then but we really, and this goes back to us really being a community-driven project, and a community that comes a project that comes out of the community and really is for the community. So you know, being able to tell the history of it, I think is really important. Obviously, we need to know where we come from, and that's the idea behind that project.
Huge congratulations to the team at On-Chain Smokers. Lukas, Willem, huge congratulations, and I wish you all the success. Any closing words, thoughts you want to leave with the audience?
I want to thank you for your time and for your interest, and wish you all the best with the podcast. It was really nice. Gave us lots of time to explain things and to get back on things, and thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, super grateful to you for having us here, for what you're building with the Elrond Initiative, for what you're building personally, for what you're contributing. And I think we live in really exciting times, and we can really build some new things that weren't possible before using this technology. And for people to join in, work together, and create new things that people weren't really thinking of, or people didn't think were possible. I think that's really the space that we're given, and it's really up to us to do something with it. And that's what we're trying to contribute to, and it's a journey that we're all on together. And I'm really excited to kind of be able to maybe do a little bit of a part, but it's so important that everybody contributes their ideas as well. And so we're super excited for people to join, not just us in particular, but the whole kind of movement that I hope will, create a brighter future for a lot of people that wouldn't have had access to that technology or banking or all the opportunities that are offered by Web3 and blockchain technology.
So yeah, with that being said, make sure to check the description of this video where you can connect with all of us. I'll personally encourage everybody watching this. Would love to have you join the Elrond Initiative, learn something, teach it online, and become an initiate, as we're called. Go join the Discord server, get engaged with the team at On-Chain Smokers, give them that feedback to help them improve. I'll go ahead and end it at this moment. So thank you, Willem and Lukas, for making the time once again. It's been a lot of fun, and you taught me a lot about your passions as well as what the future holds for On-Chain Smokers. So thanks again, and looking forward to growing in this partnership together and continuing to serve the community together.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you later, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this interview with On-Chain Smokers and Elrond Initiative. On-Chain Smokers is an NFT membership program being built on the Elrond network, so a huge shout out to the team at Elrond Network as well. That's all we got, and thanks again for tuning in. See you later.